Howdy folks, Right Lane Cowboy coming to you from Salt Lake City. Hadn't been a while, or it has been a while since I put a video out, months actually. I've been dealing with the cold and up there in North Dakota and South Dakota and Michigan, and just really haven't had it in me to do a video of any kind. But I thought I'd get on here and let people know that don't feed other people's dogs when they're out walking them. My Mochi is really not feeling well. I get out of the truck, I put her on the leash, retract the leash. As much as I don't like them, this is what I use. Give her a little bit of freedom out there. The reason I don't like retract the leashes is because if people misuse them, they give the dogs too much freedom and then they don't obey. Well, I keep mine pretty much right here at my feet to keep, Mochi. Mochi is her name. She's a little shih tzu. Come here. Get up here. Come on. Say hi. Come over here. Sit right here. Look. Hello. She's so silly. Anyway, I get out and I forgot to lock the leash so she couldn't take off running. As I'm climbing down the truck, I set her out on the ground and I'm locking the truck. I close the door, lock the truck. I lock it from the outside. She takes off around the front. Well, some jackwagon's out there eating a piece of chicken. And when Mochi comes around, he throws her the bone. You don't feed dogs chicken bones. It just drives me nuts. I can't believe that this guy did that. And ever since, she's had intestinal problems. She can't pass. I mean, she gets to the point where she finally passes a little bit of diarrhea. Not much. But she's pretty much blocked up. She's pretty much stopped up to where she can't do anything. Get on the bed. On the bed. Well, hold on. Hold on a second. I got it. There we go. Anyway, so she's stopped up and she's hurting. And she's got to get out and about every, 2 hours or so and go trying to pass this thing. It's been about 2 days. Fixing to take her to the vet if I can't get her feeling better again. So, of course, that's going to cost me money. But why in the heck would anybody throw anybody else's dog any kind of food? Even if it was really good dog food. You don't feed other people's animals. It just drives me nuts. But he did, and I'm dealing with it. So, I'll probably never see that dude again in my life. So, what can I do, right? But anyway, it's part of the reason I haven't done a video is because I'm feeling pretty bad for my dog. I really want my dog to feel better. I got a really big heart for dogs, and not so much cats because I don't think cats really give a darn about you or anybody else. I like dogs. Anyway, yeah, I'm out here. I'm still with Azure Standard for a couple more weeks anyway. Sadly, I'm leaving. I don't mean to, I'm not complaining or crying or anything like that, but I'm not 25 years old anymore. And hand unloading 100% of these trailers is starting to take effect. Bad back, sore muscles, hurting fingers, and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not into it. I don't want to do it no more. And the family's suffering a little bit. So I'm going to go back to Creek Carrier and here in about 2 weeks or so, 2 loads and a back haul. And this company that I'm with, Azure Standard, is so awesome that even though I'm leaving them, they're still going to fly me wherever I need to go after I turn my truck in. And I keep on looking over here because a guy's trying to back out of a spot, and he's nearly hit 2 people already, or 2 other truck drivers already, or trucks rather. It's kind of a tight spot here at this pilot. But yeah, they're a really good company. They're going to fly me anywhere I want to go to my next endeavor with Creek Carrier. Then I'm going to get back going OTR. So I've had an absolute blast delivering this Azure Standard product, and it's good stuff. I eat it. It's like I said earlier, it's non-GMO, certified and verified organic. If the companies we buy from fall below our standards, we don't buy from them anymore. It's just that simple. So they have to fall in all of everything about them, the way that they treat the ground, their the way they fertilize has to be all natural fertilization. The way they process the food it's all got to fall under Azure standard, and if it does, then yeah, we can sell their product. I should close my curtains because it gets sidetracked really easy with all these dingbats trying to map. Now he's completely jackknifed trying to get out of this spot, and I don't know how he's going to do it. You know, when I first came on, or when I first started driving trucks 17 years ago, rookies were different than rookies today. Rookies back then still had, a little bit of common sense. They still had ability to stop. And I mean, here's an example. If you're backing a truck up and you don't know what's behind you, what do? It's pretty easy. Well, you get out and look. You set your brakes, you jump out of the truck, run to the back, and look what's behind you. Not these silly guys. They just back up, and they think if they back up really slow and bump something, well, they're not going to hurt anything. That's the only thing I can think of, because outside of that, they're just being stupid. But what they don't realize is when they're backing up even at a tenth of a mile an hour or a thousandth of a mile an hour, if you make contact, or if their truck makes contact with another truck, if there's somebody standing in between there, they're dead. It's too much weight. You're talking about gross tonnage moving. You're not going, that body's not going to just get, bumped and squished and that's it. It's going to be bump, squish, big mess, and then death. So that's the mentality of these new age rookie truck drivers. I talked to one. Oh, I met a guy named Jake tonight. He was pretty cool. He said he's going to check out the channel, but he was telling me about the mentality of common sense, or not the mentality, but the common sense in today's drivers is gone. And I agree with him. It's absolutely gone. There is no common sense anymore. And I can already hear my wife saying, whose common sense are you talking about? Well, the truck driver's common. Anybody that gets behind the wheel, gets on a motorcycle, gets in an SUV from anything from a Prius all the way up to a great big rig, or a large car, or a huge truck. And if you're behind the wheel of a motor vehicle, you gotta have a little bit of common sense. And what's that look like? Common sense is you got a machine that's big enough, even the size of a little Prius is big enough. If you bump somebody, or if you bump something or somebody or an animal or something in between, it's going to maim them, hurt them, or even kill them. If you got a big rig like what I'm driving, and you bump somebody or bump into something and someone's between you, then pretty much certain death. That's common sense. Common sense says that you are gross tonnage and you're not going to stop as easy. But yet you still see these guys out there tailgating each other all the time. I saw a guy come through right in front of me right here. See here, you got a guy he's parked right in front of me, crossways. That is a no parking zone. And as you can see on the other side of his cab, that's the back of another guy's trailer, and his front end is over there. You can see the front wheel, the steer wheel of the guy on the other side of him. Those two guys are parked illegally. They're parked parallel to the curb. We need that space. All these guys next to us need that space to pull out and make a turn, either right or left. We need that space, but they still park there anyway. They don't know if I just started a 10-hour rest, or they don't know if I'm going to leave in 2 minutes. They park there anyway. That's ignorance. That's the lack of common sense that I'm talking about. See? They should know that. That truck right there in front of me is every bit of 70 feet long, probably more like 75 feet long. He's got a 53-foot trailer, and he's got a what is that? A Cascadia. That's a pretty long wheelbase. It just blows my mind how inconsiderate and lack of common sense these guys are. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever. But that's what I'm talking about. That's the lack of common sense out here on the road that we deal with on a daily basis. Just caught her trying to get into something. That's right. You better lay down, little lady. Can't blame her. I mean, she's got to be hungry. You want some food? Let's make it dinner time. How about that? Oh, check this out. Wow, that was loud. That's called a slow eating bowl. It's got the little things on the inside so that they can't really engorge themselves real fast, you know. But look at that. Oh, shoot, that's good. She jumped down there. Last time I had to coax her down to eat. She didn't have an appetite. Now she's wanting to eat. Good girl. Pardon me, folks, while I give my dog some food and water. It's dinner time. And then that little backpack that I got, that's cool, huh? Watch that. Just. How do you work this thing, Bobby? Oh my goodness sakes. It goes from that to that. Now I got a little bowl. Ingenious. I just love this stuff. Anyway, that's me nerding out on stupid things. Come on, ready? Here's some water for you. So anyway, we're up and down every night trying to get her to go to the bathroom. Poor thing. That's another thing about common sense is out there when I'm walking her out there in the grass and stuff all over the place. People walk up, put their hand right down to my dog. They don't know what my dog is. They don't know if my dog's going to take their, fingernail off. I don't know. I don't know. Can she take a finger off? I don't even know. But I see them do it with big dogs too. Like there's a couple of guys yesterday in this truck stop that had what are those big old dog mastiffs? They got the bull mastiffs. They drove together, separate trucks, but they ran together. They're on a same company. They're in the same company and they ran together, and they both have bull mastiffs. They're out there walking around. They could be the friendliest dogs in the world. I don't know. But there's people walking up to them, putting their hand out, wanting to pet. Now, I'm like, that dog can take your leg off. That's a big stinking mutt, You don't go up and say, hey, how you doing, man? That's common sense. You ask them, hey, is your dog friendly? Can I pet your dog? Do you mind? I mean, you don't just jump up there and say, hey, that's a dog. I think I'll freaking put a saddle on it, ride it. No, you're not going to do that. That's just dumb. So, common sense. Oh my gosh. There's so many aspects of this common sense thing going, that people have a lack of. I could probably sit here and talk for a couple of hours on the lack of common sense. Anyway, that's, Jake and I agreed. We're sitting down to dinner. Got paid today, so I went in and had me a meal at Denny's. I deserve it, damn it. I'm freaking tired, That's what happens when we get old. So, anyway, other things that have been going on with me. I went up north to North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and I expected to drive in the snow because I like to go up in the snow every year, every winter, and drive in the snow and the ice and the adverse weather. I think it's a lot of fun. I think it keeps my skill up. It's a challenge. I've had to dig out my truck a few different times because I wake up and there's a couple of feet of snow around me. That's, over the last 4 or 5 years. But that whole the northern Midwestern states, bone dry. When I left there 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, there was no snow on the ground. There was no freaking snow on the ground. They usually got 2 to 3 feet of snow, sometimes 4 or 5 feet of snow up there by this time of year. And there's no snow on the ground. And they actually reached like 50, 55 degrees up in that area. That's a little scary. That's a little worrisome. I mean, it is what it is. The Earth's going to do what the Earth's going to do. And we just need to adapt to it because we're not going to change the Earth. We can't change the climate. We can't do anything about the climate. I mean, the closest thing I think we've ever done to climate change is here in Utah, they do a lot of cloud seeding. And if it's really, really, really cloudy, well, that's moisture. So they jump up there with airplanes and they seed clouds. It's literally like crop dusters. Sometimes they use helicopters. and they seed the cloud with whatever it is they're seeding the clouds with. Basically, it's little microscopic particles that fall through the cloud and give the water vapor something to cling to. And once it clings, and it's like a real small drip of water coming down through all the raindrops on your windshield. It gets bigger and bigger and bigger because it collects, and it falls out and it rains. Well, when it's cold enough, they do that. It doesn't rain, it snows, because that's a ski area. They got huge ski areas, and Vail, Vail ski area in Denver, they bought all these ski areas out here in Utah by Camas, and what's that other one? I can't think of the other one. Heber, Utah, and Camas, Utah, on the other side of the mountain from Salt Lake, or actually on the other side of the mountain from Orem. If you go right over from Orem and Provo, Orem, and up in that area, you go over the side of the mountain, other side of the mountain, they got all these ski areas. Well, anyway, they seed it. And I think that's the closest thing we've ever come to climate change. They can change climate, but that's immediately. That's instant. And it only lasts for, literally minutes. I don't even think it lasts for an hour. It lasts for minutes. So there's really nothing we can do about the no snow up there in North Dakota, up in the northern Midwestern states, except for just deal with it and adapt and overcome. But it was sad. I went up there wanting to, practice driving in the snow and have fun driving in the snow, and I really didn't get any of it. It was all, down around, at night it got down around freezing. In the daytime, it got up around 45, 50 degrees. So it was always wet, and it was miserable. And Mochi hated it. She did not want to go outside because it was always wet. And she's a Shih Tzu, She's a little Tibetan communist. Right? She don't like that, I don't think. So anyway, she didn't like going out there because it was wet, and she got cold, and dogs don't like to be wet and cold. Well, that dog doesn't like to be wet and cold. So we came down here and came across Salt Lake City. 80 from Cheyenne, Wyoming, all the way over to here, and then we came into Salt Lake City to finish out my route and take a 34-hour reset. Now we're heading down to Arizona. Going to go down and get in the sunshine. We're nice and sunny down home. So anyway, don't feed other people's dogs. My gosh. Good grief, man. That dog is suffering like crazy right now. She's got some sort of blockage, and it's not letting her go to the bathroom, like I said before, but she'll get better. It just takes a little while. I don't think there's really anything else to talk about. Been kind of a boring winter. Hopefully, I'll get through this next couple of weeks with, without killing myself and in my health, breaking down my body. I got 2 more loads and a backhaul, and I'll be done with Azure Standard, and I'll be going back to Crete. So, leaving one amazing company to go back to another amazing company. So I'm very blessed to be with these companies, and not lose my seniority at Crete, and everything stays the same when I go back. So I'll get a brand new truck, hopefully. Most likely. They got nothing older than 2024s right now, so or pretty close anyway. They're getting rid of all their 23s and older. So anyway, I hope everybody out there is having a blessed time, being blessed, and enjoying their winter. We'll talk at you later. Right, Lean? Cowboy, out.